Hello, everybody.
Afternoon, guys.
Joe here.
Kevin.
Last week's episode. Each week we keep getting more and more Santos and kind of him doing it his own way.
Yeah, it is. They keep showing us this tough tightrope that he's walking in terms of being a Latino candidate who doesn't want to just be known as a Latino candidate,
which I totally respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally get that.
It's a tough line to walk because he can't deny you know, and you don't want him to.
Sure.
But you also don't want people to look at him and be like, oh, these are the only issues he cares about.
Yeah.
And that's what his concern is. Like, I don't want to be the Latino candidate just for Latinos. Which he's trying to be a president for everybody.
Sure. And how we got there in the end too, I think, is brilliant. How we had brought in Ray Weiss at the very end, and I'll stand behind you, but you have to be the one to say this.
Yeah, I'll give you a little political cover, but it helped them win California.
It did, and
which is a big deal going into Super Tuesday.
Some real luck.
Yeah,
with the Hoynes situation.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. Like, I didn't think Hoynes was going to be there at the end, right? I thought it was, obviously Santos had to overtake him somehow.
Yeah.
Man, what an explosion.
Really, yeah. And also, like, I don't know if they were planning on long gaming that situation, but
for sure.
Dude,
for sure,
dude, what a great revelation!
It's like, oh, this is why he hasn't gone up to California. Yeah. This is why it got towards the end. It was like his own staff doesn't know why he's still in New York. Well, now they know he was suspending his campaign. He knew the bombshell was coming.
Yeah, and in terms of great revelation, I mean, as far as storytelling goes, obviously tragic situation for the people involved. But yeah, man, Hoynes, he was his own downfall.
Yeah, Hoynes is definitely a two-man race now. And again, I don't expect Bob to completely last because at some point, and I don't know if they're going to show it. I hope they do. You got to get Bob and you've got to get Santos on a stage debating each other, right?
Yeah,
at some point.
And I do want to give Bob some credit too. I mean, like he was. I really like the fact that he's like, no, we're not gonna pile on this at all. We're just gonna mind our own business. I love that.
Sure.
But yeah, when it comes down to the debates, I really want to see those two going at it.
I do too.
Because I think Santos is going to bite the floor with them.
Stop it! Sorry, cat scratching furniture. Now she's stuck with the claws.
She's looking over like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, sorry. We should go in here. Do want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers who have been here with us and give a special shout out to all of our super patrons, of course. Action Warrior Looker, Balash Foldes, Chris, Derek Peterson, Jamie Morgan, Jeff, Christy Goverston, NJ, Sudagunda Rapu, Torgir Lingstad, Ware Panda 47, Trey Contreras, and AB. As always, guys, thank you so much. Really glad you're here with us.
Yes, we are. And if you're watching us for the first time on YouTube, welcome to our channel. If you might hit the like button for us, please leave us a comment down below and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we've coming your way.
If you would like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else that we've watched or we're currently watching, check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page. On every show, including The West Wing, we're at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we're on YouTube. Everything on Patreon, you're going to have to sync and watch along on your own source material. Due to copyright law, you're just going to see and hear us.
Yeah.
90 miles away, I'm guessing this is about Cuba. Or something about Cuba. At least starting back in The West Wing.
Is that Leo?
Maybe we're not going to have a campaign in this episode.
Give it a break.
Can't completely ignore the White House.
Yeah.
I know who that is with the cane.
Yeah. It's like every scene with Bartlett is so somber now.
Yeah, for sure. He's kind of limping through the finish line, isn't he?
It wasn't my favorite thing calling you.
Yeah, I had to run the gauntlet upstairs.
That can be special.
The world breaks everyone, but those that will not break, it kills. It kills the very good and the very gentle.
Hemingway was a monster. He hated his mother, treated 4 wives miserably, trashed his friends.
Aside from all that, why are you harassing me at 5:13 a.m.?
He's a great writer, though.
There's a rumor about Castro.
There's always rumors about him. In 30 days, you read the complete works of.
It was hot.
Ooh, wow.
It was dry. Had time on my hands. Not Hemingway, exactly.
Sierra Tucson can do that.
I've got an idea.
I think I've only read, is The Old Man of the Sea, that's Hemingway, right?
Yeah, that's Hemingway, yeah.
That's the only thing I've read from him.
I think I read The Sun Also Rises and a lot of his short stories. Like to write about hunting lions.
Muchas gracias.
Señor Magari, enter la finca del señor Ernesto Hemingway.
Gracias.
Oh, Hemingway stayed there.
Wow.
That was, like, famously.
Oh, that's cool.
Mr. President, you requested the EPA's ozone standard report. I know Leo had it.
We've been expecting you. Just a small wager about how long it would take before someone came to inquire about where Leo might be. He'd drop everything and go and visit Hemingway's house.
The one in Idaho or the one with the 6-toed cats in Key West?
No, I forgot to ask.
The one in Cuba.
Yeah.
A lo mejor
cool.
podríamos ayudar con eso.
Señor McGarry, le presento al presidente de Cuba.
Oh, Castro's there.
We're getting Castro on the show?
That's cool.
I can't believe we're getting Castro on the West Wing.
I doubt they show him. They had him in shadow.
Still,
that's probably all we're going to see.
The fact that he appears as a character.
Right, yeah.
When did Castro pass?
Wasn't long ago.
It seems there's a suspicion there may be termites
This is a revelation.
in the White House, and his fear it might be related to the outbreak of the woolly aldilgi.
You're making this up.
You gave me the briefing book.
Any word from Leo?
Still in Hemingway below, as far as I know.
Did you know he even read Hemingway?
History, books about fishing, thrillers.
But you never saw him reading Hemingway.
Can't say I did.
He did it when he wasn't around you guys.
Yeah.
But he is 79 years old, so it could be true.
CJ, reports come in the last hour that Fidel Castro is seriously ill. There's a history of everything from assassination attempts and psyops forays to invasion plans.
I thought all that had stopped.
The CIA did.
We may never get a straight answer. Miami, South Florida, Miami. It's Chinatown.
I don't care. Pin it down.
Forget it, Jake.
Yeah.
It's Chinatown.
Castro's always dying. You know, he collapsed a couple of years ago, same thing, endless rumors, then he reappears in fresh fatigues.
NSA seems to think even if it is a false alarm, it may be significant.
That's kind of what Leo said. But before you were chief of staff, we began secret exploratory meeting with representatives of the Cuban government. A new deal.
And what does he say?
I'm waiting to find out.
And
One night in 1961, President John F. Kennedy sent Pierre Salinger out on a mission. Come back with 1,000 Cuban cigars by morning. Salinger had managed to corral 1,200 of them. Then he opened his desk drawer and pulled out a long piece of paper. It was a decree banning all Cuban products from the United States.
So you got 1,200 cigars and then cut it off.
Wow.
Yeah.
if these meetings become public, the reaction in the Cuban American community and on the right will be ferocious. The Florida primaries are right around the corner. This comes out, sir.
If this comes out, we can bring out the shovels and bury the Democratic candidate. Who knows who's going to be sitting here next? And before I'm gone and he's gone, I am not going to let it pass.
Don't worry, it's going to get really dumb after you guys.
Yeah. Right, good luck.
You know Senator Ray Framhagen?
I don't like this already. None of you wanted to talk to him, which leaves me. A wooden leg. Passes out in his car, though, they say.
There you are, your
he's a
assignment.
drinker.
Godspeed and l'chaim.
Subterranean termites. 10 times the weight of all the folks in the world.
That's a really gross thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe some evidence here.
Hey, that's a 200-year-old mural.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
How many rooms you got here?
135.
Dig some holes, install some stations, drop in a few grams of recruit, too.
Okay, hold on one second.
I don't think Charlie can authorize drilling holes in the White House.
Yeah. Oh, is that
That's Brian Dennehy, yeah.
Oh, he's the drinker. That's funny.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
He's a drinker on 30 Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on in, son. What are you drinking?
Diet Coke will be fine.
Florida, we drink orange juice. We can inject it with something if you like. Well, here's Linda Lee. Do me a favor, Don. What'd you freshen mine up to? That is a sachet and piece of poker, isn't it?
Oh, my gosh.
Well,
Cliff's not enjoying this already.
you know why you're here, don't you?
The hurricane damage on the Gulf.
They didn't tell you. Send ignorance to combat truth, huh? You go back over there. You tell those people that I've heard it too. The rumor.
What rumor?
It's that Castro thing. And somebody knowledgeable better come see me right quick. Probably only that NSA gal, huh?
Gal?
Yeah, you go back a couple of years, get her out of those power suits. That would be some serious pulchritude.
Oh, my God, man.
This guy.
I'll bet she knows what's going on.
You mean Kate Harper?
Just a warning shot across the bow.
This guy's so old school.
And no such bill is ever going to see the light of day out of my Commerce Committee. Now, did you get that, son? Or do you want to repeat some of it?
I didn't ask for the orange juice, too. Yeah. Diet Coke.
Hey, Tom Cruise. Diet Coke!
Saw the senator.
I'm full of vitamin C.
Nothing stronger.
But it seemed to be about Fidel Castro.
You got my attention.
A rumor about his...
Health, whether he's alive or dead. What is this city? Just one big game of telephone?
Yeah.
Seemingly.
Is there anything I should know?
There's a rumor about Fidel Castro's health.
He suggested I talk to Kate Harper.
Margaret, get me Kate Harper.
Back to the bench for me?
This is disgraceful. I'm actually starting to like you.
She's gone for the day.
Find her.
Right? Yeah.
But if Castro is no longer in control, how would the White House react?
We don't react to hypotheticals.
Russell
like
says he
2020
wouldn't
doesn't.
rule out military intervention to secure a democratic transition in Cuba.
Yeah, they're campaigning.
Oh, she's working.
She's a blonde now.
I wasn't gonna come.
We're not running off the reservation ops anymore. We've changed.
Still, our assignment's the same, Kate.
And you came all the way up here to tell me this.
It's a big mistake to be digging into the Cuban tar pit once again.
What are you talking about?
Leo McGarry. You can't touch down in Cuba at his level.
I don't know anything about it.
That's actually true. Yeah.
The one thing we learned down there, you can't beat history. The Bartlett administration can't pull this off.
The deputy NSA, and I don't know who Leo McGarry's in Cuba? It's 90 miles away. It's like driving to Baltimore. There's 3.5 million Cuban Americans with
Kate,
one...
but do you know Senator Framhagen? Why would he say to ask you about Castro's help?
I don't know. Look, CJ, we don't want to get stuck in the muck down there again.
Let's see how this escalates, I guess.
Obama did it.
He's alive, and I think he might finally be ready to deal, and he certainly can talk and talk. I'm not sure he's ready to fight for truth, justice, and the American way. I am optimistic, but we've been down this road before. Talking about Cuba, everybody seems to have secrets, and they never stay that way.
No need to paint this guy as some kind of hero. It's just time to deal with him is all. What to do about its impact on the primaries and the general election, and Cuba's response for that matter.
There's a lot to find out.
Yeah.
Can you get me something while we're meeting? Kate Harper's file?
I can't.
Why not?
That would be classified as top secret above my level. A formal letter of request signed by you.
Forge my signature. You can do the president's.
Well, yes, but angular, aggressive. I mean, your signature, you're concealing something.
It's my signature. What are you, a counterfeiter? Some handwriting analyst?
My great-uncle was right after the Civil War.
We need the Margaret spinoff, apparently.
Right. I think there's an opportunity to use the rumors of Castro's health as deflection. Then there is support in the House to curb the embargo from both blue and red states.
Introducing the Vice President, Congressman's 7th, 8th term. Once you add an ad, convicted felon.
Thanks for the lesson in local color.
Keeps winning every 2 years. Keeps winning, saying the same thing. Same words.
Vice President Bob Russell, the frontrunner of the Democratic
I love that picture.
The black-legged tick, the viral-spreading mosquito, insects can spread disease, but they're also crucial to studying how diseases are spread. Abigail Adams and the War of 1812, the burning of this building. Now, I'll wager we go into these walls and we will uncover all kinds of information and revelations as yet unknown.
These are like the guys from Silence of the Lambs, aren't
they?
Use these little pioneers to journey into our past.
Well, you got to get rid of the termites, so...
They're not kidding, man.
No.
Wipe them out. They're eating the White House.
Yes, you have to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I think they'll fall over.
Sorry.
You got it?
They checked my clothes.
But they didn't do any personality profile?
Kate Harper.
I'm curious
Close
to see
the
this
door?
too.
Yes.
A lot of redacted.
Oh, yeah. Kate's pretty awesome. I'm sure she's got a pretty awesome backstory.
She's a CIA operative for a long time. I'm kind of curious what she's looking for and what she's going to get out of this.
Yeah. That ties her back to Brian Dennehy.
Yeah.
Entertain me. Enlighten me. Oh, no. It's coming back to me now. Bugs.
There is this other group who are suggesting that we observe them before killing them.
The ones in the mural room with the animatronic?
Insectoelectronic, apparently.
Insectoelectronic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
For once, our policy can be clean and simple. Just, excuse me, kill the damn bugs.
Yeah.
Toby? We're not talking to each other. Then what's making my phone ring? What's with Castro? What's going on with that? That's what I wanted to ask you.
So things are going great for the campaigns.
Yeah.
Castro's become Shay. Is he alive or dead? He's wallpapering the primary.
CJ, I should apologize for you not knowing about the trip to Cuba.
Yes, you should. Well, while you were gone, we all got calls from Rafe Framhagen. And he had these questions about Kate Harper in Cuba, as if she knew something. Africa, blackout. Kosovo, blackout. Iran, blackout. She got around. You're in it.
It's impossible.
Turn the page.
But why is it in her file?
She met you at some point, right?
It has to have.
Or watching him.
We had a gathering of the Bay of Pigs veterans from both sides for the first time. There was also an election recount underway, Congressman Cabrera.
Yeah, I know the one.
And Ray Framhagen showed up, and we started drinking. And I made a fool of myself. So I vowed then, if there was ever a chance, I'd put it back together.
They're taking their time with this one because I'm
Yeah, so Kate was there watching this. She was probably posted to keep an eye on this meeting.
Working, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously working, yeah.
Wearing suits and sitting in meetings with amazing people. You've changed. I wanted to apologize. I knew back then what was going on. I should have protected you better.
Well, just shut up.
Part of my 12 steps to make a fool of myself. Especially to those people who maybe I made fools of.
What is your history?
Yeah.
I want to understand it.
I know.
Leo McGarry's trip, the deal he's trying to make with Fidel. they're gonna break the story. Don't get caught in this again when it goes to hell.
It's one of those things where everything's so classified, but people need to talk. It's a tough one.
Kate, what's going on?
Tomorrow morning, Cuban-American factions are going public with Leo's visit to Cuba.
So this is going to blow up for everybody.
Mm-hmm. We don't know what it'll be, audio, eyewitness testimony, photographs, but we know it's coming.
A delightful prognosis.
We can try and spin it.
We have to look at the consequences. The South Carolina and Florida primaries are less than 2 weeks away. Won't go away by the general election.
Russell will find a way.
Yeah, I can hear his sound bites already. So Republicans and Democrats alike will distance themselves from this act of madness of the Bartlett administration. It's here, isn't it?
Little Cliff, yes, sir.
Toby?
Jump.
Give me some airtime. We're gonna have a few words with the nation. Debbie!
I like this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that was a lot.
That's a stiffy.
That was a big pour there.
Yeah.
Screwdriver time.
Leo.
How'd you find out?
Deckhand, limo driver, the gas attendant, does it matter? Of course, these days, that's one place where my point of view is in the minority.
You're right, he is plowed.
Yeah. Brought to you by Smirnoff Vodka.
Oh, yeah.
Your solution is to have an old man with MS to check on the health of a third old man. It's too late for the Bartlett administration to go legacy shopping in Cuba.
It's time to admit the embargo isn't a reason for or a solution to Cuba's tragic reality.
And you want to legitimize his government.
A good ship legitimacy sale decades ago.
Yeah, that's true. It's
the FBI just busted a Cuban espionage operation, arrested 10 spies. Congress has codified the embargo. U.S. sanctions cannot be lifted against Cuba. Now, no American president can just overturn the will of the people.
It's not the will of the people.
Who floated over here in some little leaky boats, their kids in one hand and their dreams in another.
But who we've also pandered to for far too long. We're starting with an executive order to provide food and dollars to the United Nations.
And there's the toothless, gutless foreign policy we've all come to expect from the Bartlett administration.
Man, jump forward to now and take a look at it.
For sure.
He'll waltz you around through the summer until he gets what he needs.
Maybe he's legacy shopping, too.
Which is cash. He needs cash.
If we don't get our foot in the door, U.S. business interests and your poor, maligned Cuban Americans will be left out in the cold. Your rigor mortis stance, it's holding hostage a Cuban American community you say you so love. The world, time has passed them by. Castro won.
Yeah, I mean, really.
He did.
Bottom line is you care more about American politics than alleviating the plight of the Cuban people.
I remember we had a drink.
We could have had a deal.
It was you who took me aside and invited me for a drink. Now you're going to climb up on your high horse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 10 years later, man. Things change.
Yeah.
Senator, we just drank back then.
It was a very interesting conversation, though. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I get what he's saying, but, like,
For
dude,
sure.
times change. Like,
what's the status quo hasn't worked.
No.
Cuba, Florida. You know a lot about them. You were there in the 90s, 1995 maybe.
Yeah, here we get into it. They were there together.
I can't remember much at all. But I believed then and I believe now this fight is worth it.
The CIA would have never let the embargo go away then. They're against ending it now.
What about you?
I don't know. It's not about me, it's about the president. And this is something.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe she wasn't there for him.
Did we meet back then?
Do you remember me?
No. Do you remember me?
Yes.
Tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened.
That felt like a yes.
Okay, cool.
We're gonna see it.
Flashback. We're
Okay.
gonna see
Oh, the labor secretary's drunk.
Where are you going?
That car, I think.
Okay.
God.
What did I drive?
No.
it. Looking like Jimmy McNulty there.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, good for her.
So she gave him a ride home.
Yeah.
I drive off into the sunset.
Yeah, I think we missed it.
I'm gonna remember this.
No, you won't. But I will.
I'm gonna put my head down. Just for a moment.
That was really nice of her.
Very nice of her, yeah.
I wonder if she knew who he was.
I'm sure. She's the CIA. She's been formed. She has to know who people are, you know.
This is not about cigars, of course, but about our relationship with a country that is only 90 miles away. But a change there can and will and must be.
There's more to the
My
story,
dream
though.
is
like-
that every one of the hundreds of thousands of Cubans will
finally have the chance to find that freedom in their own country as well.
I feel like this is going to blow up in the next episode for the candidates.
So we're definitely going to get
this isn't over.
Continuation. Good. Because we have to find out how she got the black eye.
I don't know if we'll get that, but
I just feel like there's more to her being in Cuba because like the guy she's meeting with too, like they're keeping it very vague so far.
Right. Maybe we'll get some of that. Maybe we won't. Maybe it's intentionally vague.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because like, a lot of her file is redacted.
Right.
And that's probably the point of her character. Is like, she's been there, done that.
I just don't know if her getting in a fist fight with somebody or whatever is plot important.
How undercover was she? What was her purpose of being there?
Yeah, that we may get that for sure.
Was it a fist fight? Was somebody hit her? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I'm curious about too. Because for a second there, I was like, what did her, Leo, and the senator like? What happened there? You know what I mean?
Right.
But I guess maybe she just gave him a ride home. That's as simple as it is.
That might be. We're seeing the overlap of that. Like I have met you, and I will remember this.
Yeah. But as far as like the rest of the story goes, it's like. I guess this was a pretty huge deal back then. I mean, like, if we think about it, like, what is there? What's the negative side of this, right?
Well, I mean, the negative side is that Castro was a pretty vicious dictator, and there were millions of expatriates,
awful guy,
that became Americans that didn't want to see America make nice with Castro, and. Obviously politically, which they addressed here, they're a big voting bloc in Florida. Florida is a major state when it comes to swinging an election. So, the policy you're going to have towards Cuba, but, by default, is going to be it's going to have major impact on presidential elections moving forward, and obviously Florida elections moving
especially
forward.
for the Democrats too.
Everybody.
Yep.
Democrats, Republicans, everybody. Are you going to vote Democrat? Are you going to vote Republican? The Cubans.
Well, in terms of the campaign for
right,
yeah.
Well, for president, yeah. But I'm just like, who do you vote for? Okay, just making sure the screen was still okay.
Oh yeah,
making sure you vote for in the primaries and even before you get to the general election. We have a weird situation right now where Cuban Americans have overwhelmingly swayed Florida politics towards red. But now we have a president who just ended, legal status to 500,000 Cubans in the United States. And then now what's that going to do moving forward when it's like, well, now, all of you have been voting red this whole time. Now the red candidate or the red president has just kicked out friends and family and people.
It's interesting that
it's a mess. It's a mess, and it stays a mess, and it's going to stay a mess.
It really is interesting watching this episode then with 2025 goggles on.
Exactly right.
So I kind of had that going in my head too. I'm like,
okay, for sure. It's all I was thinking about was like, well, this is all getting messy again.
It's a little backwards. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I clocked that. I was like, it is interesting that like a lot of them primarily vote red. Then
they do,
considering
for sure.
what's happening today. But I did find that dialogue between Brian Dennehy and Leo very, very interesting.
Right. Yeah, sure. Because you can't dismiss the simple fact that Castro was a monster
100%.
To a lot of people.
100%.
Everything Brian Dennehy said about him being a fairly ruthless dictator isn't a lie.
No.
And so then the question is, what the episode brings up, at what point do you say the dictator won, now let's make nice to improve lives for the people who are living under the dictator?
And that's what I was kind of getting at when I was asking, like, so what is the negative side here, I guess? Because, like I was I'm always on Leo's side for the most part. You know what I mean?
Right.
But in that conversation, I was like, well, it is the 21st century now. You know what I mean? Like that was a while ago. He did win.
Right.
So it's like, what are we doing to I guess, kind of correct this or deal, use the hand that we were dealt, basically.
Right. Sure. And then of course the other side, Brian Dennehy also said you're legitimizing a ruthless dictator and saying we accept you as the leader of this place.
So there's a lot of gray.
Yeah, there is.
It's no right answers here.
It's not an easy issue. Brian Dennehy's not a bad guy for the stance that he's taken here, any more that Leo and the president are good guys or bad guys in it. It's just, here's this mess that we've had for half a century. What do we do about it?
Yeah.
I like, because this show always does, it brings up, here's the complexity of the issue, right? It's not entirely black and white on a lot of these issues.
Sure.
Some of them are moral questions.
For sure.
Do we fund schools? Some of them are just straight black and white moral issues.
Yeah.
But some of them are like this. It's like, not everything is as simple as you think it is.
And quickly to go back to the Kate storyline, because like that, it was shrouded in a lot of mystery there. It kicked off with what was that guy's name? Who came off the bench?
Cliff.
Thank you so much, Cliff. Yeah, he went there and he was not triggered, but like he clocked at some words that Brian Dennehy said. He was like, "Babe,"
right?
And then he went and brought it up to CJ, and then that kind of spiraled from there. And it's like, what? So clearly, Brian Dennehy knows she was there too,
right?
I just need to see more of that, I guess.
Okay.
Which I think we're gonna get more in the next episode, more explanation of like how he knows her. Then maybe,
honestly, maybe, but I
unless that's not the issue, I'm just reading too far into it.
You might be right. Obviously, we have no idea.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like we're done with this.
Okay.
What we're going to deal with now is the fallout of the president's speech and then the news reports the next morning from CNN and then the networks.
Yes.
I think we're done with the backstory, my personal opinion, and I think we're moving on to now how does that affect
the
campaigns and everything else. That's kind of what I think they're setting.
It'd be a great two-parter then.
Again, right. Again, I could be completely wrong.
Sure.
We may get back to that. I would just be surprised if you spend a lot of time still
on Kate.
On the backstory of Kate met Leo once and he was drunk.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, like have we met? She doesn't say, yeah, we've met. You were a sloppy drunk, and I think that was kind of the big thing.
The point, yeah.
Right. That was her introduction to Leo. Was Leo was fall down drunk the one time she saw him in public.
I did love how they told the story too. I mean, it was a lot of show not tell, a lot of mystery.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so.
Very much so. Yeah. As always, it's really well done. Mm-hmm. This season has been written so well and pulled off so well, episode to episode to episode. But yeah. And maybe that's just my wishful thinking. I want to see, like, okay, what's next now? Now that this thing is happening with Cuba,
willing to bet we're definitely going to see it.
And now that it's out, let's see, what do our basically three, because we're not really Fallen Walk, and we know it's going to be Vinnick.
Yeah.
What our three surviving candidates, per se, are going to, how they're going to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
How does our Latino candidate deal with it?
I gotta see that. Yeah.
How does our Republican candidate deal with it? How does Bob, who will say anything anybody wants to hear, deal with it? Yeah. Bob's not a bad guy, and Bob understands, more than we give him credit for. And he says, he'll say to Will, "It's a shame, blah blah blah. This isn't wrong, blah blah blah." But then he'll go out on stage and say the exact opposite.
For sure.
Which is one of the things I really don't like about
trying
Bob
to win.
at all.
He's trying to win.
He's trying to win.
Yeah.
Sure. It's not that he's unprincipled. I don't think he is. It's just that he'd rather win than stand on those principles. Is my personal critique.
100%. That's what his character is.
Right. But we shall see moving forward. Appreciate it, guys.
See ya.